Hi guys, my name's Seb Tudor, I'm the man on the Silver Mountain and welcome back. Now today I want to talk about forgiveness, and it's a tough one, forgiveness, because it kind of gets to a point where either you've forgotten what that you were actually angry about in regards to someone else or in regards to a situation or a group or whatever, and as a result forgiveness becomes hard because you don't know what you're backing down from, or it's difficult just because it's so emotive. There's usually an awful lot of emotional baggage and upset carried with the time at which forgiveness would help you. And I mean forgiveness in terms of you giving, you providing forgiveness to others rather than, receiving it. Because when you're receiving forgiveness, let's face it, you fucked up. Yeah? If someone is feeling that you need to be forgiven, then either you've fucked up because you have genuinely fucked up, or they are taking some kind of high ground against you, be it justified or not. There's a lot of grey in that second part, but when it actually comes to forgiving, there's some stuff that stands out to me. We've all had people that have screwed us around. We've all had people that have wronged us. We've all had people that have made our lives hard. And yet, the more you give in to those people, the more they sit in the back of your head, the more they tease you and taunt you and rip you apart from the inside, just even if they're completely removed from your life after already. Then it's every single time that happens, they win another battle against you. If you dwell on it, if you sit there and fume and hate them forever, then it means they've won. So first off, the first thing that I'd say about forgiveness is it stops people from winning out over you. You don't have people getting into your head, grinding you down, and they don't even have to do anything because you're doing it all for them. Yeah, if you forgive people, if you realize that they're weak, fragile human beings, and you just water off a duck's back, it's fine. Then it's one of those things that stands out because it means that that's a moment where you have taken control. You've made that choice, and as a result of making that choice, that person can't impact you anymore. Now, the other thing is that we've got a lot of people taking offence and getting upset and blowing things out of proportion and out of the water in all manner of different ways. And it's usually around something that someone's done and then going in on the attack against that person and stuff like that. They used they knelt for the national anthem, or they used the wrong pronouns, or they made a joke that I didn't like, or they said a thing that I didn't like, or they went and did a whole load of things that I personally disagreed with very deeply. And all of those things nowadays are, they don't tend to be as focused on the real bad stuff. Because the real bad stuff, people actually breaking the law, people actually harming one another in significant ways. Not just, oh, you've hurt my feelings because you said something that I disagree with, but actually causing genuine harm, terrorizing people, driving them to suicide, all of those kind of things. Those are, especially when it's very active, those people are breaking the law. And as a result, though, a lot of those things are taken out of this equation because they're already dealt with by a much larger system. And so when it comes down to a lot of the arguments that get blown out of proportion these days, you're looking at things like, as said, using the wrong pronouns, either willingly, knowingly doing so, or if it's a slip as a result of this change being new, or if it's as a result of someone like Professor Jordan Peterson, who's been trying to make the point in Canada that using the wrong pronouns in a very general, straightforward sense is just a thing. If someone came to him civilly and directly and addressed the point with him, because it's their point to address, not his, then he would quite happily be civil and deal with that person as an individual and work with them in the way that they would like to be. But that doesn't mean that he should be forced into it, as that's a kind of suspension of his freedoms. And yet there are lots of people ranting and having a go at him about it, and lots of arguments and fighting around it. And the thing is, there are going to be indiscretions against you your entire life, right up until the very day that you die. And even then, after you're dead, there is a good chance that your last will and testament will be ignored. That various people will kind of subvert your wishes or screw around in all manner of different ways. You know, I've seen that firsthand for a long time now in regards to certain matters involving my family. So, you know, there's that element of people are always going to mess around with you. They're always going to cause you problems. They're always going to do things, say things, act in ways that maybe don't add up for you. But a lot of the things that we're seeing nowadays are very minor indiscretions that are being blown up and blown out of proportion hugely, either through people who want to control everything in a very authoritarian manner, or people who are just unable to control their emotions and unable to realize that the more that they are kind of letting someone else in, letting someone else affect them, all it ever does is weaken them and cause them to lose and lose and lose instead of anything else. And so I feel like forgiveness is a very liberating and freeing thing, because it means that that person no longer has a good grip on you, no longer has any power over you to sway your decisions in the way that you're thinking. But also it allows you to address things in a very professional, kind of impassionate manner. Whereby you can be, if that other person hasn't managed to do the same and they're then losing to you again and again and again because they're seething over what you've been doing, you know, removing yourself from that so that you're objective, so that you're cool, calm, collected, free to act. It's useful. If nothing else, it's useful and it's effective. And so with forgiveness, how to forgive? Well, it depends on the situation. A lot of the time for me, when I need to forgive someone for something, I mean, I don't get riled up all that much anyway. I might get annoyed by things, but for the most part, I'm a nihilist deep down. And so as a result, when it comes to me taking a look at things and going, well, nothing really matters in the long run. The whole universe is just going to turn into this murky soup, and we're all going to be dead eventually. So, you know, it's not going to be a thing that really rubs me up the wrong way for more than a few days. You know, there are a few things obviously that get under my skin. Certain people that can do so because of how close they are to me or whatever else. But even then, that's when it comes down to either making it a competition, or whereby I'm not letting that person beat me. I'm not letting that person get under my skin, set up their own little base of operations in my head without them even having to do anything, and letting me beat myself up on their behalf using some kind of twisted effigy of them. What I'm going to do is kind of take control of myself again, flush all of this from my system and be fine. Or the other way, without it making it into a competition, especially because making it a competition with someone that you're very close to, like a boyfriend, girlfriend, parent, brother, sister, other family member, whatever, that you're in direct opposition to, you know, it's not necessarily good to make it more competitive than it already is, more conflicting than it already is, because that way, you know, you end up with the us versus them thing, and you end up butting heads until everything falls apart. But at which point, forgiveness then, I think, comes down to communication, and it comes down to actually working out the why of things, why things were said, why things were done, having the other person understand kind of what affected you. You know, it's just that getting to know each other thing, so that way you know where the limits are. And then beyond that, it just kind of boils down to keeping it in mind and working on a way forward. You know, it's not always possible. Some people aren't going to be willing to listen to it or be civil around it. and so on. And sometimes people do blow things out of proportion by such a huge margin that it really shouldn't affect you. You know, if you've made an off-color joke, and as a result someone else has really got upset about it, then you know that offence is taken, not given. And so that's entirely their own business to forgive you on their own terms in their own head, rather than you really do much to compare. But again, if you value that relationship with that person, then actually engaging in conversation, discussion, and understanding around that, you know, might benefit things overall. But anyway, I want to talk about this purely because we you know, I've been seeing so much again lately, all the stuff about sports now being weaponized by Trump politically, and how there's all the outrage around it and people getting upset and all. It's like, it doesn't matter. Just if you don't like what these people are doing, then just forgive them and move on. If you want to do whatever consumer wise, then fine, but are you still enjoying the actual main product? Yeah, if you are, then don't politicize it. Why it doesn't need to be. You know, the whole point of things like the Olympic Games is to bring people together for this organized competition, so that you've got this competition but also this unity. Same goes for most other sports. You know, the hooliganism, the violence, the politicizing of all of it, it doesn't make any damn sense. You know, just stop. Forgive the people that you feel have wronged you and just move on with your life, because life's too short. But anyway, guys, I'd love to hear what you guys think, you know, especially around forgiveness. Have you ever had someone who was really hard to forgive, or is there anything else that you do to help you forgive people, so that there's not this other person stuck inside you, like poking you with a little pitchfork, and every time you losing and losing and losing, so he becomes more and more entrenched? You know, let me know. But anyway, otherwise, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the video tomorrow. Take care. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you found this at all interesting, then please drop us a like, share this video, and subscribe for more. And I'll see you in the video tomorrow. Take care.